Please understand this. Being a child is not a sin.
Being a child is not a sin. Now, why am I talking about this specific quote, right? Well, if you don't recognize the quote, it's from a anime called Jujutsu Kaisen, right? And to unpack the quote a little more, essentially what it's trying to say is that there is nothing inherently wrong with being a child, right? Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this today, I'm just gonna run you through a scenario real quick, right? Imagine you are a 7-8-year-old kid, right? You're in a home that's less than ideal. Maybe finances are okay. You never really want for anything, but when it comes to your parents, they're always arguing, and it gets to the point where it becomes domestic abuse, right? And say it's a father putting their hands on a mother, right? And so you see this and it stirs these emotions in you, and you so desperately want to help, but you can't, right? And when you do try to help, you get pushed to the side. You get told, hey, what are you doing? You get knocked down almost. And that doesn't feel great for anybody, not just because of the situation that you're in, but also this dreadful feeling of knowing that I want to help so desperately, but I can't. And the quote in itself is basically telling you that even though you were in this situation, you are not at fault for the environment that you grew up in, and there is nothing wrong with you as a person who went through this because you were just a child, right? And I feel like the reason we need to have this discussion is just there's a lot of people who are currently going through this situation or something similar, or B, went through a similar situation when they were younger, and they carry this trauma with themselves, almost feeling like they aren't enough, right? Or feeling like all they are is that situation, because a lot of times the trauma from that environment we grew up in or the circumstances, we internalize that, and it's hard to ever move past that, because if this is where I came from, then this must be all I will ever be. Okay, so to help get where I'm trying to go, I'm gonna list an example, right? This is a character in media who a lot of people know of, and I feel like exemplifies this quote very well. This is Spider-Man, right? Whether you know him from the comics or the movies, you have heard of Spider-Man in some way, shape, or form, right? The character of Peter Parker. Now, for a little bit of backstory, Peter Parker is someone who is gifted these extraordinary abilities, and there's a situation that arises where he watches his uncle pass away, right? But right before his uncle passes away, he imparts the knowledge with him that with great power must also come great responsibility. And essentially what he's trying to say with that is that when you have these extraordinary abilities that you're gifted, it is your responsibility to make the full use of them and help those people who are not as well off, right? Now, this is something mind-blowing to almost impart onto a child, because when this happens, he is in his like early high school years, if I'm correct. But what I'm trying to say is that it's a burden that you're putting upon a child, right? And it's almost unfathomable, the idea of putting these adult values onto a kid, right? And I'm not trying to say the word kid as like anything like demeaning or anything, but it's not expected of you from the world to go out there and have to handle all these big responsibilities when you are just a child, right? Because as a child, your job is to simply enjoy the world for what it is, right? You're still trying to find your footing. You're learning a whole bunch of new experiences. You're establishing yourself, your personality, things along that nature. So to put these values on you, it's an extreme pressure, right? In itself. And the reason I'm pointing out this character specifically is because even though he has these crazy responsibilities, and on top of that, you know, he goes out, he tries to be a superhero, he tries to help people, right? He is constantly being belittled at every turn. Spider-Man in itself is a tragic character, but even as a tragic character, a lot of people describe him as like the personification of the indomitable human spirit, right? And the reason I'm bringing him up is because you have to realize that a lot of times people see themselves in these characters, right? For better or for worse, whenever we watch certain pieces of media, we almost gravitate towards specific characters because they speak to who we are as people, whether that's our personality, our experiences, things along that nature. They speak to us. And so one takeaway I want you to pick up from his story is that no matter how much adversity is thrown his way, he always finds a way to get back up, right? And that's something beautiful that I think we should learn as people, that we aren't just the product of our circumstances. We are more than that, right? And it is a choice that we make every day to continue getting back up and pushing forward through these things that are almost, inconceivable to us, that we have to face. Now, I know this is a lot different from the videos I normally make, and I do want to end up pushing more videos out like this, off of the simple reason that I am talking about this through my own experiences, and if I can help anybody almost overcome what they went, or even just help them hear the right thing that they might need to hear, then I want to do that. Whether it's for one person or 2 people, 3 people, a change is a change, right? It's something I can do to help in my own way, right? But the main takeaway I want you to take from this is that we are more than just the circumstances we came from, and that if you ever feel like you're alone, you can look, to your peers, to your friends, people that are close to you, and understand that you are not alone, right? There are other people who go through these circumstances. But not just that, when we watch these figures in media, it's a great way to not only relate to their stories, but learn from their experiences too. So I want to push you to try and keep moving forward, no matter how difficult things feel, because of where you came from. But anyways, that's everything from me for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's my first time making anything like this, so I was a little bit all over the place. But if you do like this kind of content, please let me know. I would love to know that more people are supporting me and wanting to push more things out like this. So yeah, I think that's everything I got for you guys today. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.